Planning and Zoning Commission meeting is back in order. And we're on item 13, staff report by Peggy Clements.
Is this official?
Item 13 is an evaluation of a request for a special use permit for assessor's parcel number 336-07279 to allow for a self-serve water distribution facility in an RE residential recreational zone in the Meadview vicinity. Staff recommends approval with standard conditions.
Thank you. I'll open the public hearing. Is there anyone who wishes to speak on item 13? Is the applicant present? Is that you? Are there any others that want to speak on this item? Hearing none, I'm going to close the public hearing and ask for a motion.
Motion to approve per staff recommendation.
Second the motion.
I have a motion on the floor by Commissioner Martin, seconded by Commissioner Herbert. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Item number 14, Alex Boland.
Item 14 is an evaluation of a request for an amendment to the Mojave County General Plan from a commercial recreation land use designation to a rural development area land use designation and a rezone of assessor's parcel number 241-12008 from an AR 36A agricultural residential 36-acre minimum lot size zone to an AR 8A agricultural residential 8-acre minimum lot size zone to allow for a minor land division in the Yucca vicinity. Staff has received 2 letters of opposition. Staff recommends approval with standard conditions.
Thank you. I'll open the public hearing. Anyone better ask if the applicant is present?
No.
Okay, thank you. Any others wishing to speak on this subject? I'm going to close the public hearing and ask if any commissioners have any questions. Seeing none, I'll ask for a motion.
So I didn't see any letters
They probably
opposing
were in your
this.
packet.
Did they? This is item 14.
Yeah, item number 14.
I don't see any letters opposing this.
Were they letters of opposition? Alex?
Chairwoman Gillette, there were 2 letters of opposition.
Opposition. I don't know what happened to them. I've got too many papers.
I don't see them in my packet.
I don't see anything for 13.
I don't see anything for 14.
No one has the letters?
Yes, they're actually, if you go down further, they're actually a part of the
Those are for the next
book.
one.
We do have letters. We do not have 17 copies of them right now. I don't know if we want to.
I can read them in if you'd like.
Yeah, I think just reading them in would be.
Sorry, thank you.
Those are the stuff. 11 and 12.
And this is for item 14.
That was 15.
Item 14, correct.
Yes, that is correct.
No, you're right, that was for item 15.
Okay. So they are the property owners of Santa Fe Ranch Stagecoach Trails area in Yucca, Arizona. The property in question for a rezone is parcel 241-12-008 or 5663 East Box Canyon Drive. To give you some history of what has been happening with the said owner of property in question, Christian Bunch and a gentleman named Jared Thurman apparently are partners in business. It started with the combining of several lots in this immediate vicinity into the lots that exist today. What was explained to the HOA for their intent for this property was for a holistic health retreat for the terminally ill within 6 to 8 beds. Now it has turned into a planned resort, AWAISIAS, which is a corporation listed with the state of Georgia, which Jared Thurman is the registered principal, with 20 or 30 planned beds. According to their website, it appears to be much more of a luxury retreat for profit. They brought the rezoning for these 2 parcels before the Planning Commission earlier this year and were approved to make it a commercial use property. There was very much opposition to the rezone, but many did not voice their objection. Since that time, they have purchased 2 more properties on Box Canyon. The one in question at 5663 East Box Canyon, acres registered to Christian Aaron Bunch, and APN 241-12004 at 5937 East Box Canyon Road, acres registered owners AWAISIS. Both of these properties have a recorded mailing address of 3348 Brenda Avenue in Kingman, Arizona, with the owner of that property being Sylvia Farinelli, for a combined total of nearly 400 acres. Most every landowner in this area has acquired property here to get away from the traffic, people, and noise, along with the possible crime it may introduce. Our roads are already overly used, and the one-time-a-year grading is already not enough. Many of the property owners are unaware of this rezone, as the posted notices have been placed during the hot months where the traffic is very low. Many of the property owners are leery of what their real intentions are, possibly buy and subdivided over and over, attract more and more people to the area without the least concern for the wishes of non-corporate property owners. Why would they buy so much and then want to subdivide and sell? The property in question has already been rented out as an Airbnb. Not sure this is even allowed in our CCNRs. We are not sure what the relationship with Sylvia Farinelli is, but it makes us wonder. We encourage you to deny their application or reconsider it with more restrictions. Not sure if this letter is adequate or in-person attendance is preferred. That's one letter. The second letter is, I hope this letter finds you well. I'm writing to you to formally protest and object to the request for the rezoning of parcel 241-12008 per Arizona Revised Statutes 11-814.d. I own parcel 241-12-018, the one immediately east of the subject of the rezoning request. The requested change will have negative impacts in the area and for the neighboring parcels, and is not compatible with sections 4, 6, and 7, which form the backbone of the Mojave County General Plan. Specifically, this protest objection to the proposed rezoning is for the following reasons. The proposal would increase development impacts in an environmentally sensitive area. It would triple the number of families on the same amount of land. It would triple the number of houses on the same amount of land. It would triple the number of fences on the same amount of land. It would negatively impact our scenic views, and it will negatively impact our property values. It would triple the number of wells, all drawing from the same aquifer. The subsequent increase in water demand by 300% or more raises the likelihood that neighbors may need to drill new wells even sooner. The subject property already had to drill a second well just 2 years after the first well, and it would increase the chance that any one family on the new parcels may contaminate the aquifer for everyone in the area. It would triple the number of septic systems installed on the same amount of land, and raising the risks of everything from foul odors to environmental contamination to flooding. It would triple the amount of traffic on dirt roads coming and going to the current parcel, creating noise, dust, and air pollutions that all neighbors would be subjected to. Note that while parts of Alamo Road have been paved, none of the roads off of Alamo have been in our area or likely will be, and we're a long way away from Alamo. It would triple the likelihood of noise disturbances and noxious behavior and from just one direction. It would triple the number of solar and/or wind power generating systems, their battery banks, the noise, risks of fire, and impacts on both view and maintaining open spaces. It would raise risks to native vegetation and wildlife, especially Joshua trees and saguaros, which are unique to our Mojave County Desert, Sonoran Desert intersection, which are protected by Arizona state and federal law. The change request is contrary to the intent of Mojave County's zoning. While the proposed lots may be labeled single-family, this is not an accurate description of what is being proposed. What's being proposed is essentially a change from single-family zone to a multifamily zone by dividing the property to squeeze more families in the same amount of space. The subject parcel is financed. The mortgage holder lender must first formally approve the parcel's owner's plan to rezone before it can be submitted to the county for consideration. The current zoning was already correctly applied, one family every 36 acres or more, not one family every 8 acres. We don't have the infrastructure nor the water resources to support tripling the amount of families on existing parcels, and there really is no need to when you own 4 parcels in the same area totaling 380 acres. The proposed rezoning is not compatible with sections 4 or 5 resource conservations, 6 community development, and 7 public infrastructure and services of the Mojave County General Plan. Most of these objections to the proposed rezoning request are each specifically tied to one or more key elements that form the backbone of the Mojave County General Plan. I've extracted the most relevant sections from the Mojave County General Plan into the appendix on the following pages and have linked each of these objections above to the appendix. I've also noted the page from the 2010 Mojave County General Plan in the appendix for quick cross-referencing if desired to. The overwhelming majority of the properties in the area are zoned AR 36. There are, however, a handful of properties that have been rezoned to smaller lots, though I do not know the circumstances at the time they were approved. I've been told that the only properties within 300 feet of the rezoning request are asked for objections. Given Stagecoach Trail issues with our remoteness and extraordinarily limited water resources and infrastructure, as well as the conflicts with the sections 5, 6, and 7 of the general plan, rezoning in this area to smaller lots is not advisable, though combining into larger lots may be perfectly acceptable, as that would help conserve resources. Thank you for your time and attention to this serious matter, and it's signed by Daniel E. Gall.
Thank you.
Can I have an opportunity to speak now? I was under the impression that you all had seen those letters before.
Um,
Is it okay?
My guess.
I won't address the concerns from the first one because it's related to commercial properties, and I think I've already addressed that in similar meetings, so I'm happy to take those questions if you want. There's a little bit of incorrect information in there. I spoke with the county before submitting this request because I wanted to make sure that it was legal and that there was a precedent. I also spoke with the president of the Property Owners Association, Rob Hooper, and he said that it's perfectly acceptable within the CCNRs. I understand that this group does not enforce CCNRs, but I do want to be a good neighbor, and that's what I signed up for. That's what we all signed up for, that we could rezone down to these smaller tracts of land. So my neighbors to the northwest, 3 of them are all zoned AR 9A. I have some other distant neighbors to the northeast, zoned AR 8A, and many other properties in the local community have been subdivided. So I was under the impression when I purchased that I could subdivide. The county asked me to request a minor plan amendment in order to bring the land in line with its actual use. I understand some people don't want neighbors for miles around. I don't mind neighbors, especially if they're every 10 acres. I understand some people see it differently. And if I were to sell my land, I would do everything to ensure that my neighbors were going to be good neighbors to me. So that's my thought.
Okay, one of these letters, if I understood what was being said, was that this property has been split before?
No, I do not believe that's correct. I think they're referring to another.
Different.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
There was some speculation in there.
Okay, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I'm going to close the public hearing. I am surprised that these people only wrote a letter and didn't come to the meeting. But be it as it is, I will call for a motion.
I move that we approve item number 14.
Okay, I have a a motion by Commissioner Bradshaw, seconded by Commissioner Kelly. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
I have one opposed. Motion is carried. Item number 15 is Alec Volan.
Item 15 is an evaluation of a request for a rezone of a portion of Assessor's Parcel Number 254-37009 from an AR 36A Agricultural Residential 36-acre minimum lot size zone to an AR 9A Agricultural Residential 9-acre minimum lot size zone to allow for a minor land division in the old Highway 93 vicinity. Staff recommends denial due to spot zoning and not being in character with the surrounding density.
Thank you. I'm going to open the public hearing. Is the applicant present, and do you wish to speak? Name and address, please.
Commissioners, my name is Mitchell Medigovich. I'm the owner of this parcel. My mailing address is Post Office Box 2986, Prescott, Arizona, 86303. I've owned this parcel. My clients, my neighbors, have been unfortunately involved in Silverado for over 20 years. We went 10 years without selling anything. We know that the parcel this whole area has been perhaps a difficult one for many boards. And I want to assure the board that that's not my intent, is to create a massive split and make things inconsistent. In fact, this particular original 146 acres had 2 other surveys on it that were going to create 9 lots. I've had the property resurveyed, and what we're going to wind up with is a total of 6. 4 in this survey and another 2 that belong to the neighbor that's 1,700 feet south of me, and the neighbor is here. I don't know if he's signed up to speak, but he's here that can speak, that we are consistent with, first of all, open spaces. This parcel abuts state land to its east and a flood zone to its north. The owner of the land where the flood zone is a client, a friend, and I've spoken to her, and her plan is long-term hold, but we all know that we can't build in a flood zone anyway. This parcel is also fronted by Cofer Ranch Road rather than Old Highway 93. It's Cofer Ranch Road, which has been around for many, many years. And if the parcel is left without this approval, then this would be an orphan parcel. It would have no value to anyone because it would be separated. It would be like having your house in one area and your barn in another area completely. So we have an interested party who actually made the application in my name to do this. But nonetheless, I ask for approval because we think it is consistent. We're keeping open spaces. The rest of the area will be left as AR 36, and we are marketing it as ranches, 40-acre ranches. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else want to speak on this item? Hearing none, I'm going to close the public hearing. Yeah. State your name and your address, sir.
My name is Ralph O'Donnell, 4897 Bear Road, which used to be actually the Cofer Ranch Road, part of Old Highway 66, or 93, Old 93, sorry. I just want to say I don't have any opposition to splitting that to a smaller parcel and allowing that. The utility company is doing improvements out there to the power line. At some point in time, it may turn into a more populated area. I think a split like that is acceptable.
In other words, you approve.
I approve, yeah.
Okay. All right. Now I'm going to close the public hearing. Thank you. Do the commissioners have any questions? Hearing none, I'll ask.
I actually do have a question. I know,
Okay.
sorry. So, I just clarity. So we're talking about a difference of, so We're asking for less than 10 acres. Is that the concern? On
Certainly.
Commissioner, the parcel as it was surveyed is 9.75. Staff recommended that we ask for 9.
Okay. And this is bounded by an existing road.
Bounded by an existing road. Do you have the map?
I have the
or
survey.
Okay.
I'm looking
So,
at that.
Kofa Ranch Road is to the southwest. To the north is, on the map, it might show as Micah Road, which is probably unlikely it to ever be developed because it can go nowhere from one end to the other. It would lead into a wash, and it lead into a very severe, deeper wash in a canyon at 93. So therefore, and the parcel you see that is in the green is the state land. So it's kind of an isolated parcel. We see it as an orphan parcel, and this would be a way to optimize it.
You know, the concern with an orphan parcel like that is, what does the next person do down the road? They see a 10-acre parcel, are like, well, we should have that as well, or a 9-acre parcel. And so that's kind of why the staff is saying, hey, this is kind of not in keeping with what the area has.
If I may respond, I understand that the time that I was given was very short, and therefore I couldn't go into a whole history of this.
No.
No, I don't think we need that.
And I understand. But
I think it's just, I'm just trying to get clarity on
with that said, if I can make one quick comment, and that is, because I've been involved as the financier of this project, and I foreclosed and I own many of those projects, I've done what I can to assemble parcels to make them larger. And that's why I took and had this parcel, the 146 acres, resurveyed, and instead of a total of 9, we're going to wind up with 6 now.
If we,
Yeah.
6,
We may
yes.
not.
If you pass.
here's the deal. You're asking us to do the very thing that typically don't do with spot zoning, where you insert a zoning that has no relative relationship with anything.
I understand that, Commissioner. My argument would be that zoning typically takes into consideration density, and it takes into consideration open spaces. The density in this area, there are less than 20 houses east of Highway 93 in about a 20,000 square acre area.
It's not conducive to splitting into 6 parcels.
Typically, you want zoning same vicinity.
I understand, sir.
You're going from 36 to 9.
And it's only one individual orphan parcel.
As she said, then or as he said, then the next person
Don't
comes
give me
along
that she said.
and says, Freudian,
Yes.
and they want to do the same thing. And they'll use you as their argument. Gave it to him. Why?
It is my understanding that this is a parcel that has a huge wash in it, and it's not going to be able to be used for much of anything, and this person is willing to buy it and set it aside. And I think that's a great idea.
Thank you, ma'am. That would be correct.
I have a question.
Just boil it down to the basic. Yes, ma'am.
For staff. What would the access to parcels be like with it subdivided?
Chairman Gillette, Commissioner Martin. So
Where's the access right now?
the access currently is, it looks like it comes off of Coffer Ranch Road. You'd get off on Hackberry Road off the 93, then go south on that Coffer Ranch Road, which takes you to the site. And it that road looks like it forks. You've got a portion that goes through kind of the middle of the overall parcel. You can see the yellow there on the right-of-way map. Another piece that goes. So the portion that they're looking to rezone is basically, if you can see where the smaller little fork stops, at a continuation of that road that you see, it would basically be the northeast of that road there that they're looking to parcel off.
So I guess I'm a little confused because he's asked, so the 9 acres that you're so how many parcels altogether are you looking to do? 6?
The area right now is R30, AR36, and the only one that we're looking to rezone is just that 9.75 acres, so we can make it usable. The rest of it is going to remain as AR36. In fact, we are marketing the other 3 parcels that are left in that area as 40-plus acres.
I didn't get that.
I didn't get that either,
Yeah,
so
that
that brings a lot of clarity, because I did not
That?
pick that up. Because I thought we were rezoning the entire 36 acres.
No, sir. No, that's not our intention. I don't know which maps you have, but staff, do you have a copy of the survey that I submitted with the application?
It's the entire 146 acres. I
Right.
believe.
No, see,
There should be a survey map that was
There is, to be clear, the information's there, it just didn't translate to me, so I
We have a
apologize.
survey map?
there should have been one more survey map that I submitted.
I don't see the survey map.
good.
Okay, so now our task here is to evaluate this 9.75 acres zone.
Correct.
And zone only the 9.75.
Only the
Okay.
9.75.
And we do
Still
have to do it to a
confused.
9 acre because that's, makes sense. That's the size that we need. Okay, my questions are,
Can staff pull up that survey map? I can't find it.
I
Chairman
do.
Gillette, Commissioner Martin, it should be the,
third
after the application in the agenda packet.
page in the.
More?
This is the.
No, I'm fine. I got to get my act. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. I don't know why everything's the same motion. That would have had 30 minutes.
So this is the big yellow line that came through on the right-of-way map. That other 4 stop right here. Continuation of that road. This is the portion that they're looking to reach.
So if I may, so this would then remain 43 acres here. That would be parcel A. Parcel B is 37.7, and parcel C is 48.9. And we are not seeking rezoning for those 3 parcels.
I'm still
I have a
confused.
question. Chairwoman, you have a question?
Commissioner Alexander?
Yes, I'm
This is a
looking at
48
the picture of the section that you want to rezone and looking at the remainder of the parcel. There is an awful lot of land there due to the wash that looks like quite a deep wash that runs through there.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
It's going to be totally not buildable. Why would you only choose 9.75 to rezone? I mean, how can you sell the other remaining land?
Commissioner, that's an excellent question.
that's
And
what
my
I-
response is that, first of all, you need to know that I'm a native Arizonan and a rancher, as well as being a financier of something that failed here. So my initial response is, I want to retain the open spaces of this area that has been known as Silverado. I want to keep that large parcel where we can. Now, I recognize that there has been some non-compliant subdividing out in that area long before I got involved. And where I have acquired parcels, I've assembled parcels so I can make them larger. To your specific point, this parcel 009, has significant deep washes in it. I believe that it's not feasible to develop obviously in those washes, but we've been able to survey it, so we take the washes into consideration, preserve those for natural boundaries so that people can have a little ranchette to run their cattle, to run their horses, to run their kids, and still have that open space between their neighbors, between them, Highway 93, and to the south of us.
But you're going to divide that into 6 separate lots?
No, ma'am.
No?
No, ma'am. But let me restate.
How did this
did I get
simple
the
little
6
thing get to be this
Nine.
giant thing? How did that happen? It's just a 6-acre parcel that is unbuildable, that he wants to change the zoning on it so that he can set it aside and leave it there forever. Am I correct?
Commissioner, I apologize, but no.
Semi.
I think you're on the right track, but if I may, again.
So, go right
I know it's
ahead.
been a long day.
I
and
can just stay here until 6.
This is 146 acres. The original 2 surveys that were done by the original developer that I had to foreclose on would have yielded 9 lots. I'm bringing to you only 6 in the end. 2 of the lots the neighbor owns now. Okay, that's not on this survey that you see. But the remaining, actually it's 3, there's 4 parcels there because this orphan parcel that's up in the corner. So we're going to keep the other 3 parcels that will be about 120 plus acres, a little more than that. And then you have to add in for the easements for this parkway, this road that's in there that already exists. So all we're asking is for one small corner, which is orphaned from the main parcel, to allow somebody to use it. Again, state land is to the east. A wash, which is flood zone, is to the north. So nothing can ever been done there. And we're preserving the open space by doing just that, using this parcel without encroaching on anything else. The roadway to it is Cofer Ranch Road, an existing county road. We're asking for nothing else other than to acknowledge that we want a compliant parcel so that if somebody wants to build a house on there, they can.
You just said it's not buildable.
I beg your pardon? This, ma'am, again, forgive me,
No, the
but there is approximately, out of this 9.75, there is a 1 acre that is subject to a flood zone. The rest of the parcel is flat.
So why not just leave it with the rest of the parcel there on the right?
At that point in time, it will be worthless to anybody. It wouldn't be able to be used for anything. We're just finding someone who wants a smaller parcel in the midst of large parcels.
Mayor Gillette, can I make a stab at a motion?
I would be delighted.
If you will, I'll second it.
Yeah.
I move that we approve the rezone request number 15 for a portion of parcel number 254-37-009 to include the 9.75 acre parcel northeast of Coffer Ranch Road.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. I appreciate your time and patience.
Item number 16.
I think the challenge was.
That is Matthew Gunderson. That was a
Item number 16 is an evaluation of a request for a rezone of assessor's parcel number 310-25010 from an AR-10A agricultural residential 10-acre minimum lot size zone to an AR agricultural residential zone to allow for a residential subdivision in the Kingman vicinity. The applicant's proposing approximately 30 lots to be created with this subdivision. They have not yet submitted a preliminary plat, so that could change. Staff recommends approval with standard conditions.
Thank you. Okay, I will. I'm going to open the public hearing, and I have 2 people who would like to speak on this. And is the applicant here, and do you wish to speak? Come up to the podium, please.
Good afternoon, Honorable Chairman, Commissioners. My name is Kathy Tackett Hicks. I'm acting as the owner's agent, and I only want to bring this real quick. I know that there are a couple of letters of opposition on this. I wanted you to know I did speak with one of those opposition individuals yesterday on the telephone. They left the number. I reached out to her. I spoke with them again today. I guess they couldn't stay for this portion, so I just wanted to recognize some of those comments they had and how we addressed them. This is really a simple thing. Going to do about 31 acre lots. 2 parcels to the west of this. He just completed a final plat, which got recorded in the last few weeks here, was approved by the board. I did let that woman know that that plat took like 15 years to do because of all the things, and the owner would cringe. Next one's not going to take 15, but it's not something that happens overnight. She lives right next door. These roads, she was concerned about dirt roads. subdivision requires paved roads. This is going to have central water extended to it, which is also going to help all the other property owners there. The sewer system will be septic systems, acre each, they're all fine. I think this is really reasonable. It matches. I don't want to waste any more time. If there's any questions, I'm happy to answer.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Are there any others? Yeah, I do have. I have a Leslie Reed. Are you still here? Okay. How about Clint Goody? He's gone too. Okay. Anyone else wish to speak on this subject? Then I'm going to close the public hearing and ask if any of the commissioners have any questions. Please do not. I will now call for a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve a staff recommendation.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion by Commissioner Alexander, seconded by Commissioner Hubbard. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Item number 17, we have already taken care of. Item number 18 is Melanie Stradling, is that correct?
Item number 18 is an evaluation request to rename a road, Lake Mead Rancheros Unit, a subdivision located north of Highway 66 in Section 31, Township 24 North, Range 14 West, from Canyon Drive to Arches Drive in the Kingman vicinity. Just a little background. The plat for Lake Mead Rancheros Unit 20 was recorded in 1963. In 1965, a portion of Lake Mead Rancheros Unit 20 was replatted as Ranchero Heights. With the new lot configuration, the replat created a direct alignment to the portion of Canyon Drive that is located on the west side of Antares Road. As a now standalone roadway, the section of Canyon Drive that is located on the east side of Antares Road, which was originally considered an offset alignment, needs to be renamed to eliminate duplicate road names. The Development Services staff contacted the developer and principal property owner along the section of Canyon Drive that needs to be renamed and requested 3 road name suggestions. The proposals were reviewed for road naming compliance as outlined in Section 43 of the Mojave County zoning ordinance, and a selection was made that met that criteria. The staff recommends approval of the renaming of Canyon Drive to Arches Drive with standard conditions.
Thank you. I'll open the public hearing. Is the applicant here? Anyone else wish to speak on this subject? Then I will close the public hearing and ask if the commissioners have any questions. Then I will ask for a motion.
Motion. Second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Barlow, seconded by Commissioner Martin, I believe. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Item number 19, Matthew Gunderson.
Item number 19 is an evaluation of a request for an amendment to the Mojave County zoning ordinance, sections 8, 16, and 37K, to allow RVs as accessory residences in the RE, residential recreation zone, and to clarify regulations regarding RVs on residential property. So the goal with this was to try and clarify the zoning ordinance as it pertains to living in RVs on the property. We're not looking to really change anything. The biggest change we're making is in the RE zone. There used to be something that would require a special use permit in order to have an RV as an accessory residence. We're removing that requirement just to help streamline that process and make it easier for people and put it in line with the AR zone that already allows for an RV as an accessory residence. We're also amending our definition of an RV park to clarify how we already enforce RVs, and that any parcel of land with 2 or more recreational vehicles being used for living or sleeping purposes. So in the county, you can either stay in an RV as a temporary residence on a property, or you can stay in an RV park. We can only permit 1 temporary RV on a property. So by default, if you had more than one RV on a property, it had to be in an RV park. And so this is just trying to clarify that a little bit and make it a little easier to understand for somebody that's just looking through the zoning. And then making sure that, clarifying with accessory residences that there are still requirements that are needed in order to have an RV as an accessory residence, including a septic system that's allowed, and it still has to meet the requirements for an accessory. Staff recommends.
Thank you. Going to open the public hearing. Is anyone interested in needing to talk on this subject? Is the applicant present?
No applicant.
No, there isn't any applicant, is there? There is. Okay,
I want to say thank you.
I'm going to close the public hearing. Yeah, I think it's going to save us all a lot of work, that particular thing. I will entertain a motion to approve.
Motion to approve per staff recommendation.
A second.
Okay, I have a motion by Commissioner Martin, seconded by Commissioner Bradshaw. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Item number 20, Alex Bolin.
Item 20 is an evaluation of a request for an amendment to the Mojave County Zoning Ordinance, Section 42, to allow for additional smaller signs for commercial developments and to clarify vehicles and trailers as prohibited signs. The Mojave County Zoning Ordinance, Section 42, does not currently have specified height, sign face area, or the amount of smaller signs commonly found in commercial zones. Commercial businesses often use these signs in ways that include, but are not limited to, directions, advertising, and greeting of the public. These smaller signs are intended to generally only be viewed near or on site. These changes are to regulate signs based on time, manner, and place, and not by content. This amendment also removes language to clarify that vehicles and trailers cannot be used in lieu of a sign. Staff recommends approval.
Thank you. I'll open the public hearing. Is anyone wishing to speak on item 20? Is the applicant present, and do you wish to speak? I'm going to close the public hearing and ask, do the commissioners have any questions of staff? Then I will ask for a motion.
Motion to approve item 20 with staff recommendations.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion by Commissioner Alexander, seconded by Commissioner Morse. All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? So moved. Item number 21, and that's staff Matthew Gunderson.
Item number 21 is an evaluation of a request for an amendment to the Mojave County Zoning Ordinance, Section 25, to clarify the process to rezone property to an SD, Special Development Zone. Currently, there's some wording in there that talks about the commission's recommendation that in order for to go to the board, it was unclear on if it was just the standard rezoning process or if the commission needed to recommend approval to be able to send that to the board. So this is removing that language so that the SD zone is the same as all of the other zoning designations, so that anyone that's wishing to rezone to the SD zone could come in, request that rezone. The commission could give a recommendation of approval or denial, send that on to the board. Staff recommends approval of the.
Thank you. I'll open the public hearing. Anyone wishing to speak?
Kathy Tackett Hicks. I just had one question when I asked for this because we are having, the Big Entrada's got a lot of SD zoning. I just got something back saying you were removing the 3-acre minimum, but not about this other rezoning stuff. Is that all that there is? I mean, I'll look at the verbiage later. We don't have to regurgitate it now, but I just want to make sure there's nothing more.
So the change is, there used to be a paragraph that, yes, said it would be permitted only where parcels of land 3 acres or more are under singular or joint plan development. The zoning proposal must be acceptable to the commission and recommended to the board by the procedures as required by this ordinance and Arizona Revised Statute where applicable, which includes public hearings by both the commission and board and approval of the zoning proposal by the board. We're removing all of that language. So now the general requirements are that the special development zone will be used in combination with RC or M zone classifications. the end of.
Residential, commercial, or manufactured.
Correct. So yeah, you'd have special development
Okay.
residential, special development commercial, or special development manufacturing.
Okay, excellent. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm going to close the public hearing. Commissioners, do you have any questions? Hearing none. I'll call for a motion. Okay, I have a motion by Commissioner Morse, seconded by Commissioner Hubbard. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The item is approved. Item number 22 is Commissioners' comments, limited to announcements, availability, attendance at conferences and seminars, and requests for agenda items for future meetings and reports from staff. Anybody have anything they want to say? And item number 23 is called to the public. Anyone wishing to speak? You can speak for 2 minutes. No.
It's killing her.
Having no further business to come before this meeting is adjourned.
Yay!
Oh my God.
You guys made it.